Let me introduce myself. My name is Hena Venugopal. I am the Strategy Innovation Director for DTCC, and I'm also the CEO for NVID Future. So we are a sustainable digital fashion apparel brand.
And good morning, Jose Espinoza. I'm the founder of Move the Needle, a Web3 accelerator in Jersey City, New Jersey. And our goal is just to empower and educate the local community with these technologies that are in an area that's historically underserved.
Awesome. 826 million. How many of you can guess what that number is? 826 million. That is the number of people who are impacted by hunger across the globe at this point. And every 4 seconds, somebody dies out of hunger. Every 4 seconds, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody dies out of hunger. So hunger is related to many of the attributes, and one of the main attributes is due to the extreme weather as well. So hunger crisis is also a climate crisis. So we will talk about how sustainability can help and how can we take action towards climate change, because it's very urgent. So Jose, what are the other plaguing concerns across the globe today? What do you feel like, other than the hunger and climate action which is needed, what are the other topics you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, besides that, which you just gave that number to me earlier, and I was, bewildered, thinking that every 4 seconds someone's passing.
Oh my God, yeah. That number is something which got me started towards climate action, yes.
Alongside that, I believe everybody could resonate, whether it's through personal experience or family, when we talk about mental health.
Absolutely.
And then the third part, which is near and dear to my heart, is economic inequality.
Absolutely, yeah. Mental health is like, my mother, she suffers from depression, so it is personally a very close to my heart. It's very personally close to my heart. And also, if you look at Gen Zs, suicide is the second leading cause of death among Gen Zs. So in my opinion, Gen Zs is the age where you should be most vibrant and exuberant and excited about living. But think about suicide being the second most leading cause of death among Gen Zs. So that was very shocking too. And as you said, the economic inequalities. Like how can we have a fair economic balance across everybody, right? As a community, how can we work towards it? So Jose, what do you feel like, let's talk about the first topic being climate change. What do you feel about, what are the actions we can take about climate change?
So I work with different entrepreneurs within my community, and I'd be more interested in your response as it relates to sustainability.
Absolutely.
Sustainability, and particularly in the fashion industry.
Yes.
Can you share what you're working on so that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. From the hunger towards climate change, I started researching on climate change and how can we take action. So when I looked at the industries, I was stunned to see that textile, the fashion industry, is the second leading contributor towards landfills and climate change. I wouldn't have guessed it. So oil, obviously, we would think energy sector is the contributor, but textiles, I would never guess it. And out of every 90 pounds per person which is produced in textiles, 78 pounds goes to landfills. How many of you have clothes in their closet which is with tags, which is unused? I have a lot of them. So it's a very serious issue. If the major contributor to landfills is fashion, the physical fashion, unused fashion, how can we really mitigate that issue, right? So that is how I got into this, and our planet is really stressed, and we really need to take charge of it than being a victim. And as a community, community, we all can do that. So that is how I got into the fashion, and my family has textile industry, and we've been suppliers for sustainable fashion for like 17 years. So that is when I thought we should bring it direct to the consumer as a brand, which is like 100% sustainable and organically certified. In addition to that, how can Web3, like being in the Web3 field, how can Web3 and our digitalization, how can that bring more value to the fashion industry towards climate action? So that is when I was looking through the Instagram outfit of the day, which is a huge trend. I love it. I also follow many of the influencers, wearing their Gucci or Prada, whatever outfit, gorgeous pictures on Instagram. So when I did some research on it, what I hear is like everybody is so addicted to posting their pictures. I am too, in Instagram. And for just that post, that daily post, you buy a dress or expensive outfit, which should attract attention, and then you return it you don't remove that label, and you return it. And when you return it, like most of this premium brands, once it is returned, they cannot use it. They have to either burn it out, or they cannot like discount sell it. So that is going to landfills. They are like just trashing those outfits. So that is one of the leading cause of the landfills from fashion. So that is when we were thinking, like I was looking at DressX and many of the digital fashion brands, where the digital fashion is a trend, and like how can that digital avatars and the digital twin of your wearables, you can just create like wearables, and you can just post your pictures with those. It is almost realistic as the real physical cloth, and that is not causing a return. That's not filling our landfills. So that is when I wanted to add, with my brand Envied Future, I wanted to add the digital layer to it, like the wearables. So I have a physical thing already, physical apparel brand already. So combining that to the digital wearable, that is how I got that concept of phygital fashion. So when you buy a physical cloth, you get that digital twin with it. So when you want to post a picture, or when you want to go to metaverse, you can just wear your digital wearable and use it and go, right? So
what's that process? Tell me, as a user, I engage with your brand.
Yes.
And then where's the aspect of the digital twin?
Yeah, so for example, like we were on Metaverse Fashion Week it just concluded 2 weeks back. So we were one of the brand who participated in the organic urgence area. So our collection will be on the marketplace. So you go and buy it. You can mint that, and you can wear that in any of the parties in Metaverse. Like there were umpteen fashion shows, and there were clubs in Metaverse on Decentraland. So you can go wear it, and you can enjoy it just like your physical dress. So.
And then if I pick up the physical dress,
yes,
how am I as a user notified or engaged with
yes.
the digital twin?
So that is where the NFCs come into play, which is the near field capture, the communication. So you have a chip on your sleeve, which if you scan it, you will get the entire history of that particular physical asset. So it will tell you, like, what is your, who made it, from where did you source that fabric, and you will get the token ID, the serial ID, the unique ID on the blockchain, which proves that it is authentic. It is from Envied Future. It is authentic piece. So that authenticity, the traceability, and the provenance really helps with that NFC, or the near field capture chip, right? And then when you buy it, you're minting that dress. So when you mint it, the token ID is tied to this NFC chip ID as well.
Certificate of authenticity.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so let me ask you, as it relates to what we're talking about here, where's the tokenization for good aspect?
Absolutely. So that is the tokenization for good, one of the tokenization for good, because it is helping us, reduce the things going to the landfills, right? That is one thing, because you're using your digital wearable, digital tokens are what you're really wearing, and that is like, reducing the physical aspect of the cloth, which is like going to the landfills. So the second thing on it, which is your tokenization for good point, is it increases the circularity of fashion. So how? Because the NFC and the blockchain blockchain will contain the provenance and all the materials which went into that dress making. So it will tell us like, we are using the 100% organic, which could be like Supima cotton, which is like premium Egyptian cotton. And it will also say these are the dyes which went into that. So all that material attributes are already baked into the blockchain. So when you return it, like all the storekeeper has to do, or the manufacturer, when we get it, all we have to do is scan it, and we get that entire attributes, and we segregate them into buckets, so for recycling them, so it doesn't go to the landfill. So we can really take that particular material, that fabric from that material, re-yarn it, and it will reduce the re-wastage of a lot of energy from that yarning process itself.
That's awesome. And I'm curious, just how's traction, how's engagement today? How long have you guys been out in the market?
Yeah. So we are coming to the market, but we participated in the Metaverse Fashion Week. So we had 1,300 unique visits, and we had 900 unique wallets, and the average engagement within the store was like 3.5 minutes. So that was like amazing. Like, given that we are not a non-brand, we are just coming. We are not like Gucci or Tommy Hilfiger or any of that big brands, which you already know. But we are like the new brand. But still, having those 3.5-minute on average per customer, that was like a huge number for the Metaverse Fashion Week, and we were sold out on 2 of the 3 items. So it was like amazing. So I didn't expect that, so it was like really a huge turnaround. We are really thankful about that. So
sorry, I was just gonna follow up on that and ask, in terms of engagement with new users.
Yes.
Right. Like if I'm at a Decentraland party, it's because I know how to connect and engage and go through that process.
Correct.
For somebody that's just following your apparel brand, what's the introduction like for them into Web3? Because ultimately, this tokenization for good is only as good as the adoption that.
Absolutely, that's a great point. So we are developing our own Discord, and we are also developing our own Metaverse launch, and we are really wild about wildlife. So we have affiliation towards World Wildlife Fund, and we are supporting tiger, which is an endangered species. So we have a club lounge we are planning a club lounge on Metaverse on Spatial, which is like really wildlife themed. It will be a forest-themed club lounge, and once you're on Discord and once you have your membership, you can have access to our lounge, and we will have like regular parties there, sustainability talks, fashion shows, etc. So that is the plan of engagement with that community who have this token. It will be a token-gated access.
And then any plans in IRL?
Yes, so IRL also we have a lot of efforts towards climate action is something which our company is very passionate about in real too. So we are a carbon positive company. So we have our own windmills and solar farms in Tuticorin. So we are carbon positive means the energy we produce from our renewables like solar and wind is much more than what we consume in our sustainable practice followed company, which is like very rare, and we are very proud of that fact. So we, want to promote sustainability, and we want to have a community who's like towards green initiatives, green earth, and we want to have a soulful token towards sustainability, which is related to that, and have in real, not just like fashion shows, but we want to have like sustainability community, sustainable practices, because it's not just about fashion. It's about how can we together as a community work towards protecting our Mother Earth, and how can we restore, recycle the magnificence of Mother Earth, right? So there are various ways we can do it. And another thing is like we always participate in the ocean or the beach cleanup, and that is one of the materials we have to. So there is like dumps of toxic plastic being dumped in ocean these days. We all know about it. So we affiliate and work together with the agencies who collect the toxic plastic and garbage from ocean, and we recycle them into real wearable fabrics. So we have the recycled PET. So ocean is something which we are really passionate about, and we have regular ocean cleanups, beach cleanups. So those are all in real activities which we want to promote. It's not just like about having a fashion show, right? That is also there, but it's more about how can we engage towards commonly as a community.
And then what would you say are your economic or major milestones that you're aiming for this year? So when I hear about different projects, I'm always curious on the tangible result.
Absolutely,
Not just
yes.
the story, but how do you measure your impact?
Absolutely. So we already sold like 400 tons of sustainable goods. Like we are a major producer in the sustainable good.
And where at? Based out of where?
We are from India.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we are leaders in the sustainable physical production already, right? So the number is not a big thing for us. So adding the digital line to it, adding the sustainability angle to it is our passion with this project. Being the rebranding to Envy Future and Unmoda. So we already Unmoda brand is already in Australia and India. So we are bringing it to US too. So that is our main goals, like in real or physically, if you're talking about. I think, given that our time is running, I think I would like to switch to, economic inequalities, Jose. And I would love to hear about your projects and, how we are. I know you're very passionate about underserved communities. We all are, and that is the right way. Like, how can we bring balance back to the community so there's more harmony, right? We all live in harmony. So can you talk a little bit more on your underserved communities and those?
Yeah, sure.
efforts?
So for me, I'm in a metropolitan city called Jersey City that's literally across the river, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're here right at this moment. There's thousands of people here that understand these technologies and the opportunities that come from it, and that's why they're here.
Absolutely.
Right across the river, you have tens of thousands of individuals that have no clue about this, that are just trying to survive.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
for me, as a son of an immigrant that came over here for a better opportunity and figured out my way with the support of those that have paid it forward, it's an innate obligation for me to do the same. And so we have a space in Jersey City to move the needle at the Brand Experience Lab. It's a nice industrial space, and it's just a welcoming space for people to come through and let the mind percolate, like ceiling, 14-inch ceilings. But our focus there is around technological innovation and really democratizing the information. So we focus heavily on programming for the local community. One day we could do a pour and paint. The other day we're talking how to mint an NFT. And we like to showcase use cases. So, if Starbucks is doing the loyalty play, I want my friend Adam, who runs a little Cuban bakery, to do his own loyalty program through NFTs that'll help enhance revenues, engagement, and so forth.
Absolutely.
So for me, my biggest interest is, particularly with high school students, is for them to start learning how to code. When I was in high school, a gentleman came in with some grant money, and all I knew was that I got a free laptop. What I didn't know was that I was being taught web design, which would change the trajectory of my professional career. So my interest is you have a space, which is a resource and asset, and now it's the programming, and I'm surrounded by incredible folks that all know different things. So I'm just trying to bring it together, and for me, impact is measured by how many students we take that don't know anything about this to, by month 6, are now working for corporations or making 6 figures, and now they've changed the economic trajectory of their life.
That is so wonderful. Yeah, we need more leaders like you who are, uplifting the grassroots. That is what we need. Like, that is the only way to bring the balance back to earth. Because I feel like, there's like either there or either here, right? So how can we have a harmonious life back on earth is something which we need more leaders like you, Jose.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So what do you have coming up next? And how
So-
can we find you?
Oh yeah, so I wrote a book, Versapati, and we have the Versapati Labs, which is also upcoming in this quarter. So our vision is towards like how can we alleviate the Gen Z depression by bringing them into Web3, right? So when you hear about Web3, the wallets or the crypto, it kind of intimidates people, scares them away than knowing the potential or the fun, right? So how can we alleviate? How can we ease in the barriers of entry to that community mainly? So that is the Versapati Labs which we are doing, and we are bringing in podcasts from inspirational leaders all over the world. So it will be like 10 to 15 minute podcasts, and we will also have hands-on workshops on how can we mint, how can we create digital art, how can we create digital fashion. So they all are very creative. Once they know feel the potential and value, it will be very inspiring. So I want to increase that community engagement within Gen Zs with this Versapati Club. So that is one of the initiative we are doing as well. Yeah, it's really interesting to know your initiatives, and we need more discussions and community engagement around that. How can you, as you said, how can other people create the engagement using loyalty clubs, etc.
Yeah, and I'd be interested in learning more about how we can collaborate because all the depth of information that would be helpful for students or individuals in our areas.
Absolutely.
So it's just that bridge, right, that
Yes.
the internet right now allows us to address. From my side, for anything as it relates to, move the needle, we're starting in Jersey City because that's where I'm at. That's where I want to have this like kernel of impact. You can follow at Move the Needle IO, and that's just a starting point. There's family
Absolutely.
in Ecuador. There's family in other places where these hubs of information are helpful. So
yeah, you can follow me at Envied Future, Future. So thank you all so much, and a great chatting
Pleasure.
with you, Jose.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.